We're judging the world and seeing what sucks. We're reviews versus the world.
And did that satisfy your every need?
Oh,
that make you
and
feel-
then some, and then some.
And welcome back to Reviews versus the World. Woo!
Yay!
All right, so you guys might notice that our audio is a little bit different this time than normal, and that's because we usually like to, get together in the same room and eat way too many snacks and have way too many snacks left over to make my wife go crazy, saying, "Why did you buy so many snacks, Brady?" And then I say, "I don't know, Amanda." And then I cry and cry and cry, and she says, "Yes, you better cry, you jerk face. You're bankrupting our home because you want pizza rolls for your guests." And I said, "But they're the combination kind. They have ham and pepperoni and sausage." And she said, "That's triple meat, not combination." And then I cry more.
Wow.
That was quite the peek behind the curtain.
Wow.
This is my marriage.
I just think it's wise because it's like, oh no, I have leftover snacks, but I won't see these guys for a month. And these things will go bad in a couple weeks. Well,
What should I do?
I guess I'm set on snacks for a while.
On Hulu, I've been watching Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay, and he's like, "There's so much food," and then he'll pull all the food out of their kitchen, and there's like their whole dining area is just full of leftover food. And he's always like, "You guys are stupid. How much money are you wasting?"
Wait. I don't believe that it's Gordon Ramsay because you haven't said the word donkey yet.
Oh.
If you watch his cooking videos on YouTube where it's just him and the camera, he's the nicest, most pleasant guy.
He is.
And I've never watched his other shows, so I'm just going to believe that that's what he's like all the time, and I don't want the illusion ruined for me.
Well, it's interesting, Kitchen Nightmares, he really wants to go in and help the people succeed with their restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like Extreme Makeover Home Edition, only he does it with restaurants.
Yeah.
Pretty much, and gets them a new menu from their crappy food. And
he's actually very nice on MasterChef.
Yeah, he is.
That's true.
The thing is, he really is one of the most talented chefs in the world. So he can deserve, when he's doing Hell's Kitchen and these crazy people that the producers get because they want crazy people because they want drama because it's Hell's Kitchen.
Right.
And so as they screw up, they are sullying his good name because these people are paying money for Hell's Kitchen. But they also know that Hell's Kitchen is more of just, the entertainment factor.
It's a reality show.
Exactly.
It's not a cooking show.
I like cooking shows, but I don't like those ones because I don't like Gordon Ramsay because he's not... I know it's a persona, but I don't like mean people. I like nice people. So that's why I like to watch the British baking show because
Oh my gosh.
because
me
that's
too.
just full of nice people. They're not professionals, and so they're they're just Joe Schmoes like us, and they're just like, "Oh, let me help you because you're awesome and nice, and I love you," and everyone's just friends, and and then you get other cooking shows, and everyone's like, "I'm the best chef in the world, and no one can cook better than me. I don't agree with the judges." Blah, 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 blah.
I mean, they are all so nice to each other. They're like, "Oh, that was a great effort. Here, why don't you take some of my butter?"
Yeah.
They help each other out.
This new season, though, that just dropped on Netflix, freaks me the crap out.
Why?
There's a reason why.
Noel Fielding is on?
Yes, because
What's Richmond doing out of his room? What's he doing out of his room?
exactly. So, with this latest season, there was a shakeup because Mary Berry wanted to leave the show.
Right. And then the
and
two hosts,
left
yeah.
with her, and so they got new hosts, and
I like the new
Who are doing good job.
and
Yeah.
one of the new hosts is Noel Fielding, who you might know as Richmond from the IT crowd. And
I don't know. I don't know that.
In the IT crowd when Richmond, it shows like the before the goth phase when he has the blonde hair and looks like a normal person. That's what I expected Noel Fielding to actually look like, but no, he looks like Richmond just without makeup, and it freaks me the heck out.
You got to watch some of the Big Fat Quiz of the Year, like some panel shows where he's on with Richard Iowade. It's so funny. Oh gosh, so funny. Yeah,
anyway,
Bake Off is great.
We've been talking about things that we've been, that we've enjoyed, and not necessarily over the last month, but over the last little while. But I specifically want to know, let's go geeky, and I mean geekier than Great British Bake Off, if possible. And so, first of all, we have a few of us here. There's me, of course. I'm Brady Flanagan. Hi, how you doing? Then there's Barry Ricks.
Hi, guys. I'm the new guy.
There's Nate Unk.
Ahoy, hoy.
And John Crowder.
We don't want any. Oh, it's you.
Da, 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 da. All right, well, you know what? That leaves us to our own devices, and I don't know how this is going to go. But let's start out with Barry. What have you been into lately?
One word. Overwatch. That consumes my everything. If I have time to play games, like I'll sit down and I'll play Overwatch. It just really has I looked on my hours the other day and I was just like, wow, I've racked like almost 500 hours playing this game. And and then I'm just like, yep, that's about right. Well, and for a while, for like 7 months, my family and I were apart because of work, and so I was like a bachelor for like 7 months. And so after and before work, I would just come home and play like 4 hours or 5 hours straight of Overwatch, and I racked up a lot of hours in those 7 months. But it's just I love it. It hasn't let me down yet. I was really big into the Overwatch League, which was a very successful first year. Unfortunately, my team didn't make it to the playoffs, but that's okay. We'll do better next year. Go Houston Outlaws. But no, it's
let me guess. Is their logo something Reaper involved? That I'm gonna know McCree involved.
No, actually, right? Their symbol is two 6-shooter guns, but they're right next to each other, but they look like a bull, like a longhorn bull, but they're two guns, and and then there's a star above it. But it's really cool. It's actually one of the cooler logos. A lot of the teams have cool logos. Granted, the team that won, that took the Overwatch Cup, this was the New York Excelsior team, otherwise known as Korea Team Number 2, because no wait, I sorry to all my geeky friends out there. New York didn't win. London won. London Spitfire, who is also Korea Team Number 3, because we have the Seoul Korea team, and then we have New York and London, just full of Koreans. Not a single actual English person on that team or New Yorker on that team. Straight up Koreans. And
so why is it called the New York team?
Because they are New York. The teammates actually they live in New York now. That was kind of like a stipulation. They have to be there to represent their team. So it's kind of just like any other sporting thing where they are just like, okay, let's find the best players and recruit them to our team. And when it comes to video games, that is Koreans.
The most impressive thing about
we were just right up against that racist edge there.
No.
Let's get more explanation out of this before I jump on the hey.
The most impressive thing about the Korean players, though, is that while they are with one hand playing Overwatch, with the other hand they're actually playing StarCraft, because it's my understanding that Koreans never stop playing StarCraft. Like, they play it in their sleep.
So there are, that's they definitely made that a very competitive game. But I mean, it was a very successful first year. They had 12 teams this first season. They do anticipate more teams for the next season, which will start back up in January. So there will be, just like any other sporting season, there will be like a 6-month break. And then they'll start back up. They'll do some preseason stuff in December. But yeah, so they hope to have some more teams. And yeah, it was just pretty fantastic and awesome. So that's really what geeky-wise consumes my time. Actually, play a lot of board games with the family. Our collection continues to grow and grow. And we are going to, here's something that might blow everyone away. So my kids, especially my oldest, want to get into, role playing. He's always wanted to play, Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. But it's always been a family rule of mine. Even my rule from my parents growing up is I couldn't play Dungeons and Dragons until I was 12. Primarily because, that way you can kind of differentiate, reality from the game. When I'm being mean to you, it's not me being mean to you, it's my character being mean to you, type of thing. But they want to experience role playing. So we were at a gaming shop here in West Valley City, and we found the My Little Pony role playing game. So we actually bought the manual, and we bought the first adventure, and we made our pony characters the other night. And so we are going to play My Little Pony role-playing game, and I'm going to, of course, be the game master for that. And all my kids made their characters. My wife made a character, and we're all going to play as a family, and that'll be kind of like our family thing. And I'm like, if you guys can get really into this and you really want to go to advanced stuff, then we'll go to D&D. But let's start with ponies. And if you guys like ponies and you can handle ponies, then we'll go to the bigger things.
If Sparkles doesn't win, I'm just gonna kill myself.
Right.
So the lesson that I've learned is that My Little Pony is a gateway drug.
Right. Basically, it's a gateway game to Dungeons and Dragons. So, or
Barry playing as a family, since that game was meant for like single dudes over 30.
Hey man,
brony?
I'm a brony. I love My Little Pony. That's why we got it, because we're just like, we watched like almost the whole series together as a family. So it's just kind of like, we are totally down and we dig it, and so we're like, let's play ponies.
Stephen Bradford's gonna be wishing he was recording with us tonight, with us talking about this. He's a total brony.
He's a brony. Yeah, he is, isn't he? Oh,
yeah.
Man. I don't know if he has like a pony name like they do on Bob's Burgers when they all have funny. They go
Bob
to the equestronauts, and they meet the equesticles, who are the bronies.
Oh, so great, so great. All right, going back to Overwatch for a second.
Yeah.
There, Barry. Because I haven't been able to turn it back on for a while.
Shame on you.
How is Wrecking Ball? Hammond.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know who Wrecking Ball is, he's also known as Hammond the hamster. He is a genetically modified hamster that's super intelligent, and he rides around in a giant machine that looks like basically a hamster ball. And it pops out legs and guns, and you shoot people, and it just seems totally silly. But I loved that about Blizzard, how they're just like, we're not going to take ourselves too seriously. We're going to put this hamster out in a hamster ball and play. But you know what? He is a very high tier level character in the aspect that he's not easy to play. Like it takes a lot of like how to play him properly, because he can actually roll around in a ball form, and then he has this grappling hook that you can shoot into the wall, and then you really do become a wrecking ball. You can swing around and hit people, you can slam people, do like a power slam, like a Mario Brothers power slam. While you're in the air, you kind of like slam down on someone, and all sorts of little things like that. And I played him once, and I'm just like, okay, he's fun. And it was fun, and that's how I treated it. But then I watched some professional players play him, because I watched a lot of Overwatch players that I follow on Twitch, you know, between phone calls at work, and so I just you know, I was like, oh, watch this guy. He was playing Wrecking Ball, and I was just like, okay, now I can see how like awesome the character can be when you actually get past that point of and understand how to play him. And so I'm like, okay, next time I play, I'm just gonna play nothing but Wrecking Ball the whole night, just to, you know, to get the idea. And I played him that night, and you know, and whenever I do get a chance to play nowadays, it's only for like 1 hour or 2 hours, so really it's only like a few games. But I played Wrecking Ball that whole night, and like I was like, dude, this guy's pretty awesome. Like, just it was lots of fun. But
cool.
But the thing behind it too, though, and the thing that's why I love Overwatch, it's a very team-based game. So if you don't have the right support type characters, or just supportive role characters, not necessarily healers, but other teammates that can support Wrecking Ball and what he can do, then you're just gonna die all the time when you try to do what he does. Because Wrecking Ball, the whole thing is like, you get in there really quick, you jump really high in the air, you do your slam down, it knocks everybody up in the air, and you shoot people really quick, and then you turn into a ball and you run away really fast. So he's kind of a, you know, comes in, comes out, comes in, comes out. But if you don't have someone to help you out, and, you know, to like follow up on you doing damage, like a tracer or something like that, then, you know, it's kind of not as effective. Still fun, but not as effective. But no, he's good times.
Cool.
And Blizzard released the newest Overwatch video. Their cinematics are amazing, and I don't know why Blizzard doesn't have a cinematic team just creating series and movies. They should.
Yeah,
because
the Diva one is the latest one, right?
Right, yeah. So the Diva one's the latest one, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It's definitely not my favorite one that they've made, but it was pretty good. So yeah.
Well, that's because it's not May, but
the May one was really good, but I don't think that was my favorite one either. So I think that out of all the videos, the Bastion one was really good.
Oh, the Bastion one was really good. With like the serene forest and then the flashbacks.
Right. Yeah, that was really good. Like how they were able to just put so much emotion into a non-talking robot character is really cool. And then the Reinhardt one, of course, I loved because I'm a Reinhardt main and he's awesome. So.
Okay. All right. Cool. Nate.
Yes.
What have you been into?
Well, so I have a son who just started 2nd grade. He's going to be 8, and we play video games a lot together. And so what I did is he was like, "Dad, what were video games like when you were younger?" And I was like, "Cool." So I downloaded a bunch of emulators on my computer, and anytime Elliot wants to play video games, I'm like, but first, we're going to go back and play Tiny Toon Adventures on the original NES system, or like the original Super Mario Brothers or whatever.
Original DuckTales.
Yeah. Oh, that was so much fun. Holy crap. That was a great game. He's like, "Oh, I want the new Mario Party game." I'm like, "Why get a new Mario Party game? Because we can play 1, 2, and 3 on the computer right now." Those are the fun ones. Like, I don't know. I don't like Mario Party like after the Nintendo 64.
Super Mario Party looks like it has some great stuff going for it, though. I mean, it's definitely a return to the roots. Impressions have all been positive from PAX, but I know way too much about video games.
So we've been playing just a lot of really fun old school Nintendo games and Sega Genesis games and stuff.
Cool.
And then I've been going back through some of my movie collections. Like recently, it's been the Coen Brothers. Like I've just been watching Raising Arizona and Oh Brother Where Art Thou. And I love Raising Arizona so much.
It was a toad.
But yeah, so I was doing that. I did a Miyazaki kick a couple weeks ago, and Elliot and I watched all of the Miyazaki films.
There was a theater that here in right next to where I live, and they were did like this whole thing this year where they would show Miyazaki films.
Yeah, they did. We went to a couple of them. Yeah.
So it was pretty cool, but it was also like more expensive than a regular movie.
Right.
And I was
yeah.
just like, nah.
I'll tell you what's fun. Like, you guys know Riff Tracks. It's the guys who did Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah.
That's the only way that I've ever watched Twilight. And
right?
The only way I will.
Oh, it was good.
Oh my God.
Have you watched the Avengers one, Riff Track? That is really good. It's so
I think
funny.
it probably has some harsh truths about the movie that I don't want to acknowledge.
It is really
Probably.
funny. You should watch it. I was crying. I was laughing so hard.
I'm like, I can't watch Raiders of the Lost Ark with Riff Tracks because like it's one of my all-time favorite movies, and I don't want to like think of jokes every time I watch it from here on out. But they do those live events. They do the Fathom events, and my mom and I go to them. And my mom and I like die. My dad's like, "You guys are stupid." And we're like, "Oh yeah," but anyway, so like we've been to all the Sharknado ones. We went to see one a couple months ago. It was Samurai Cop, and basically the whole movie was like shot in 1 yard, and like down around a corner from that house. And they had swear words or like names they would call people, but they were like used in the wrong way. And oh my gosh, it was hysterical. But so we do a lot of that. I do a lot of Riff Tracks. I love their shorts that they do on their website. And so that's pretty much what I've been into the past couple months, really. So I'm done.
Something I didn't mention was that John, Brady, and I playing Dungeons and Dragons again, and that's been fun too. So John is currently trying to get back on, but I was gonna ask John what he was doing geeky, and then I called him Ryan Brady, which was really funny because that's my other brother.
That's your other brother.
Yeah. So, well, Brady, what have you been doing geeky since we're waiting for John now?
All right, John, are you back?
I'm back.
He's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Well, you know what? I could go ahead and go into what I've been into.
That's right, John. You lost your chance, man. It's Brady's turn now.
So, I mean, yeah, I have been doing 1d10 the show and really been having a lot of fun. I don't know how much you guys are liking this arc, but I'm just having a blast with it.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
But other than that, you guys can guess what I'm going to talk about, because I only ever talk about TV shows and video games, right?
Pretty much.
Which games have you been into, Brady?
Well, I'll get through TV first.
Okay.
So this season of Better Call Saul has been amazing. Absolutely amazing. Have any of you guys watched Better Call Saul?
No.
I haven't. My dad watches it religiously.
Oh, it's so good. Have you guys watched Breaking Bad?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I watched all Breaking Bad.
I'm not cool. I'm not with the in crowd.
So Better Call Saul is a spin-off of Breaking Bad. It uses a lot of the same characters, but it's a prequel, except for in these little scenes at the beginning of each season that take place after the events of Breaking Bad. But this season has just been absolutely on fire. And if you know Gus from Breaking Bad, he's been promoted to basically a series regular in this season.
Oh, wow.
Which has been great because it's Giancarlo Esposito, who is one of the greatest actors working today, in my opinion. And this role is the role that defined him. So it's awesome to be able to see him return to it. I've also been watching Castle Rock.
I have that on Hulu, like with my favorites, but I haven't started watching it. Is it pretty good?
It is. At first, I was a little bit wary starting to watch it. Just to give a little background of what it is Castle Rock, it's J.J. Abrams and Stephen King basically got together and said, hey, how about we have a show that's like the Stephen King universe is a thing where everything actually happens in the same universe. Like, okay, and then that's what you get with Castle Rock. Except for they don't really lean into that that much. I mean, yeah, one of the big places in the show is Shawshank Prison. You have a character whose last name is Torrance, and she, after her uncle went insane and killed his family in a hotel in the mountains, changed her name to Jackie because she thought that was cool. But other than that, there hasn't. And, you know, there's like little references to like Cujo and Pet Cemetery, but like that's not what the series is about. The series is about this guy who grew up in this town.
Brady.
Yes.
Oh, finally. Go on.
Okay. The series is actually about this guy who grew up in this town, Castle Rock, and you know, he was a black kid who had been adopted by white parents, and so, you know, he had some adversity there and people not quite understanding him. But then his adopted father, mysteriously died, and people tried to blame him for the death. And, you know, he lived with that his entire life and then moved away. And then at Shawshank Prison, which is just outside of town, the warden killed himself.
Because Andy Dufresne found that there was a river of dirty money flowing through that place.
Well, and
I love that movie. Holy cow.
It's the best.
And the new warden goes in and notices, hey, why do you have this entire wing of the hospital that's shut down? And so they go in and they look, and it's just, you know, no one's there. And this entire wing of the prison, that's what I meant, sorry, is shut down, and no one's there except for in this small, like, handmade cage, there's this guy who's like early to mid 20s who's not saying anything and looks just really creepy. And it's actually what's his name? The guy who plays It in the new movie. It's that actor. And so it's, you know, they let him out, and the only thing that he says is he asked for this guy who lived in the town and is now moved away, and he's a lawyer, and so, you know, wants him to represent him. And so it's just that story, but it just gets really crazy. I like it. It's pretty good. So, video games. I likes me some video games.
Go on.
I have been playing quite a few games recently. I have not been playing Overwatch.
Boo.
Because I've actually been playing a lot of Paladins.
What? Why would you play that?
Because it's available on the Switch.
Oh, see, there you go.
And if there's something that's on the Switch, I tend to get a lot more game time out of it. You know, I've been riding Frontrunner, which is, you know, the train, to work every day. And so on that commute, I've had a lot of game time in, and just connecting to the Wi-Fi of the train and playing Paladins has actually been very nice. Paladins is a lot like Overwatch in a lot of ways. It's free to play, and so you can give it a try with, you know, without any risk. And they rotate the heroes that are available, or you can pay like $30 and unlock all of them, which is what I do because I spend way too much money on video games.
Oh, you got to pay to unlock your heroes? That's lame.
Yeah, but it's also free to play, so you don't have to pay for the game in the first place.
Yeah, I guess.
Or you can use the in-game currency that you earn to unlock them. It's a lot like, say, Dota that way.
Right.
Or Heroes of the Storm. That's another example. But it's a lot of fun. There's a lot that's actually different than Overwatch. You have, for example, like you have your base character, and then they have these little modifiers to them. But you can actually change it. You can change the cards that you're using. And so it will tweak little bits of your character so you can really customize them into a build that works out right for you, which I really enjoy. Another thing that I like about it over Overwatch is once you pick a character, that is your character that round. And
see, that's what I like about Overwatch. You can switch to be adaptive if you need to.
And see, what I don't like about that is I know what the balance of my team is going to be at the beginning of a game of Paladins. And which, it sucks when you have people. It's like, no. I'm tired of being forced to be the tank. I'm tired of being forced to be the healer. I need someone else to also do this. Even though those are my favorite classes in Paladins, I need someone else to, join me here. But it's free to play. I definitely recommend that you guys check it out, especially Barry, where you are so into Overwatch. I think that you'll actually really enjoy it as a nice little different experience. I do plan on getting into Overwatch again eventually, but right now Paladins has my heart.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
I have also been playing a lot of Dead Cells.
Yeah, I saw you playing that on the Facebook the other day.
Yeah. So Dead Cells, it's what's called a roguelike, which it's randomly generated, the level layout. And also there's permadeath, so once you die, and your run is over. And it's about seeing how far in the run you can get. But the thing that Dead Cells does really well, other than it actually plays amazingly, just all the abilities feel so good to use, but you unlock things that you can possibly get in your runs. So you unlock different weapons as you go, and some of them are really satisfying. Like, I love, you can have this thing where basically you do an ice blast where you freeze someone, and then you have boots where you can kick them. So like you freeze someone and then you kick them into a wall and they just shatter. It's very satisfying.
Cool.
The game is hard as nails. I've made it to the 3rd boss now, and I don't know how I'm ever going to beat him. It is super tough. But it's very satisfying. I definitely recommend it. Another game that I recommend that I'm not going to talk too much about is Hollow Knight, which it's this beautiful Metroidvania. It's kind of a black and white look to it, hand-drawn art. Mm-hmm. That's gorgeous. The music is amazing. Everything about this game is wonderful, and you get a lot of bang for your buck. It's one of the best games in this genre that I played in years. Mm-hmm. And you can get the whole thing for I think it's on sale right now on the Switch for $9.
Yeah, I bought it on the Switch just the other day. I haven't played it yet.
Oh, it's really good.
I'm excited.
And then I have been playing some Spider-Man today.
Yeah. So my son and I have been playing all day today too.
Which it's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it a lot. There's a lot of good humor in it. The just general traversal feels great. Just swinging around town feels.
Does Tom Holland do the voice?
Awesome. No, it takes place in its own timeline, sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Peter Parker is 23. Is it 23, 24?
I think so. He basically been Spider-Man for 8 years.
Yeah.
And so, he's an established celebrity, and everyone knows him. J. Jonah Jameson in this game has been fired from the Daily Bugle, mm-hmm. and he started a podcast where it's a call-in podcast radio program just about him ranting and raving about Spider-Man. It's like, oh, so you're Alex Jones. That's kind of interesting. That's an interesting political slant to this game that I didn't expect. But I mean, this game is a lot of fun. It has some good depth to it. Mm-hmm. But I will say, don't go into it expecting the next Batman Arkham type renaissance. Of a series. This game gets a lot of the things right. It's beautiful, it's fun, but it feels like there's just something missing. And there's also a little bit of monotony where I'm just trying to get from point A to point B. I'm trying to get, I know that one of the backpacks, because part of the collectibles are these backpacks that you have around town from when you were a teenager and you just webbed a backpack up on a high wall and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about these. And so you can collect them. And so it's like, oh, okay, well, I know that the backpack's over there, so I'm going to go over there. And along the way, I'm distracted by 3 random crimes that are happening. And the problem is, if you don't stop the random crimes that are happening, then J. Jonah Jameson's podcast comes on, and he just rants and raves about Spider-Man, and then he'll have somebody call in and says, yeah, I was just mugged. I saw Spider-Man just swing overhead, didn't do a thing to stop it. And so you have this guilt that's like, I just wanted my backpack. And so you feel obligated to stop and help all these people, and it just happens a little bit too often, I think. So I think that a sequel to this game could be amazing, but this is no Arkham.
Right. Oh, Brady, I was going to ask you, have you played Flipping Death?
I have. It's funny.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun.
It has some great writing. And
it's hysterical.
All right, John.
Disenchantment. That's all.
I love Elfo so much.
See, I'm not sold on him yet.
Aren't you?
And Lucy is kind of one note as well.
Isn't Lucy short for Lucifer?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny enough. I think that it'll find its feet. I think it's good. I think that it's a worthy sibling to Futurama, and
it definitely got better towards the end. I think, and I've actually wanted to do a video about this, but I think that the serialization of comedy that's been happening lately is both a good thing, a great thing, and also a little bit of a detriment in some cases. And you see that here, where with Disenchantment, it ends really, really well. And it ends well because of the payoffs from everything that happened before it. Yeah. But there were episodes that were just bad, and they were building. And they make that payoff worth it in the end, but it's... At the time, I had to kind of push myself through it.
Yeah, I think that, like the episode where the king and the queen leave, so she throws a party and the Vikings take over. That was a solid episode.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, I think like the last 3 episodes were all pretty great.
Yeah, I think season 2 will be a lot better.
Yeah. Well, I think it's considering like the other half of season 1 that will
probably
be showing up soon. Which is weird how shows have been doing that lately. Disenchantment did it. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt did it. The Tick did it. Which, if you have not watched The Tick and you already have Amazon Prime, I doubt that you actually watch anything on Amazon Prime because nobody really seems to. But
that's because there's nothing good on there.
Yeah, but The Tick is worth it.
Burt Reynolds.
He died.
In memory of Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds died?
Yeah, he died yesterday.
Why else would you talk about Smokey and the Bandit? I mean, I personally, it's a guilty pleasure, but I don't think, Yeah, anyway.
Hi.
That's Elliot.
Hey,
Hi, Elliot. So, John, please tell me that it was with you that in Russia I had the secret signal for Burt Reynolds.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to go get a drink really quick.
I don't recall.
Okay, then it definitely wasn't with you. Who was it with?
What was the secret signal?
It was in Chelyabinsk. It's like putting your finger underneath your nose like it's a mustache and then curling it and putting it back.
It was either Clayson or Spratling. Think about that type of...
It was Clayson. It was Clayson. It was definitely Clayson. Ah, gosh.
That's a funny guy.
Wonder what he's doing with his life these days.
He's married and works for a cool company that I can't remember what it is.
Cool.
Good. But we can edit this out so we're not sharing personal information about
right.
party.
Oh yeah. All right, and I guess we all saw that Emily is not going to join us.
Correct.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. She said make sure
She's having a hard time getting it.
Mention for her on her behalf Settlers of Catan.
Oh, I was just going to do nothing but crap on Settlers of Catan, but okay. No, it's fine. I've played it.
So, what are your guys' guesses on what's going on in the D&D arc?
Oh, I'm staying true to my character and remaining inebriated and blissfully in the dark.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you, some of my theories. I think my theories were very sound.
Yeah, I think Carl will get us out of this one, and Magna and I are just there for fluff and for entertainment.
There you go. Carl will lead us to safety.
He's the only one who's
It'll
made any
be
smart moves
interesting.
this arc.
Like, I'm really looking forward to seeing your guys' next battle in the arena.
Mm-hmm.
See what happens.
I look forward to it too, because I'm going to speak with an Irish accent. Oh, look at me throwing these coins at you.
Disenchantment, yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. Bake Off, man. I'm all in. If you've ever watched Making It, it's a complete ripoff of Bake Off. Like literally, it's they've changed what people are doing, but everything else, like it's exactly the same show. But I prefer Bake Off a lot more. It's just wonderful. So, but now when I make something at home and it doesn't turn out as well, I pick up, like, I'll make pizza and I'll pick up the crust and I'll just do my Paul Hollywood voice and be like, it's underproved, you know. So.
Yeah, we just watched the episode right before we started recording tonight, where it's the caramel round.
Okay, yeah.
And like in the technical challenge, like every single person just failed on the caramel portion.
Yeah.
Of the snack, and that
was a hard one.
It was hilarious because it's like nobody got it. Nobody got it, and these are good, amazing bakers, and just nope. None of them. They have
a lot of contenders this time. Like, I'm an episode or two beyond that, and it's really good. So.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say who I think is going to win because chances are they've been already kicked off, you know, in the last 2 episodes that you've watched that I haven't, and then you'll lob that over me and make me cry again.
Hey, just if you guys were ever interested in playing Overwatch, apparently in the October Humble Bundle, it's part of it for $12.
Wow. I have to be honest, I have Overwatch and I've played it like once. But I bought it with another game. I can't remember what the other game was, and I got involved with the other game and I just kind of forgot about it. Like, I shouldn't. I should play it because I know that it's awesome.
Well, yeah, and it is a ton of fun, but it's just also like if you're trying to spread out your your gaming, like, you know, I only have so much time to play games, and I'm like, well, what am I going to play? Oh, I'll play Overwatch.
I don't think that we've actually talked about what we're going to be, doing with this podcast today, and that's we're going to be talking about board games.
Yeah.
Finally, yay!
Tabletop games, woo!
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
I have a list.
I think that all of us should have a list because we are going to be doing this in draft form.
Ooh.
And so right now, looking at our little group chat, I see that we have 4 icons, and so I'm going to go in the order that I have left to right. That's the order that we're going to be choosing our picks for the draft.
Okay.
So that means that the order will go John.
Yes.
And then Barry.
Okay.
And then Nate.
Okay.
And then me.
All right.
All right. And of course, the basic rules of a draft: once somebody has drafted a board game, it is no longer available to the rest of the group.
Okay.
And so let's start off with John.
I'm getting it first. Monopoly. Dibs.
Woo!
I don't know how deep the geeky rabbit hole you guys are planning on going, but I'm getting Monopoly. It was like, I don't know, I played other little games as a kid, like Candyland, Hi-Ho Cherry-O, of course, but this is like, I don't know, a way that my grandfather and father taught me about business. And we Did we lose anybody? Everybody
Nope.
still here?
We're all here.
Brady? Okay. Sorry, I got suspicious of the quiet, but anyway.
We're listening intently.
So I've always loved it. I think it's a lot of fun. It hasn't started too many fights in my experience. There are still certain properties that give me memories of really harsh trades from back in the day. I just read this that during World War II, the British Secret Intelligence Service had the manufacturer of the game in the UK create a special edition for World War II prisoners of war held by the Nazis. Hidden inside the games were maps, compasses, real money, and other objects used for escaping.
Interesting.
They were distributed to prisoners by British Secret Service created fake charity groups. So that's on the Wikipedia page. So
That's
surely it
interesting.
must be true. But that's funny. That, here's a board game. Wink.
So here's a question for you guys. House rules for Monopoly. Does anybody
Oh,
have
free
any that you have to
parking.
use?
Yeah,
parking.
free parking. Yeah.
Yep.
Put 500 in
Free
there,
parking.
and then luxury tax goes in there, and other odd fees go in there. Yeah.
And I think about free parking and about how if life were actually to play by that rule, where you just happen to find a parking spot and you're like, there's a bunch of money here. I don't know where it came from, but I'll take it.
That's how. Didn't you see No Country for Old Men? That's how you die.
Yeah. With a cattle prod.
Yeah.
I just watched that the other night. Part of my Coen brother thing.
And going off of Coen Brothers a little bit further, Fargo, the TV series, when they find the money that was buried in Fargo the movie, and that's what connects it. That's
Yep.
Oh.
Interesting.
Favorite properties?
Oh, Boardwalk.
Yeah, you had to have Boardwalk and Park Place. Yeah.
Yeah.
New York Avenue.
New York Avenue is a good one.
R&R Railroad.
I do like getting the railroads. I've had many a family member curse my name because I owned all the railroads.
Right.
It's like, you've come around, I'll just take your go money because you landed on Reading or Reading. I think it's supposed to be pronounced Reading, but there you go.
No, it's Reading Railroad.
Reading Railroad.
Nice.
Don't take my word for it.
Can't pay anything.
Anyone else have any good house rules?
That was really the only one. Well, if you wanted a quicker game, of course, distributing all the properties out randomly to everybody.
Mhm.
True.
Yeah.
Bidding is something that's in the official rules I didn't know about, but that's something that sometimes we incorporate. Have you guys played that way?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like, it's intense.
Truces only have to last 2 times around the board.
I have 4 versions of Monopoly.
I have a here and now one where it doesn't have it has cards instead of money. I kind of like having the money more, but I also have a Legend of Zelda Monopoly. But my wife doesn't like Monopoly because she comes from a big family where there were lots of fights over board games and it took forever, and so yeah.
I just have Simpsons Monopoly. I don't have regular Monopoly at all.
Oh yeah.
I have regular, I have Simpsons, I have Star Wars, and I have Beatles. The Beatles.
Oh, nice.
And no longer have any Monopoly games. I got rid of them because Monopoly's lame.
Oh,
I actually have it on my.
Well,
I play Monopoly on my Switch, actually.
Well, Barry, you just kind of threw down a gauntlet. You say that Monopoly is lame. Let's see what you have for this draft.
Okay, so I'm just picking a game. How does this draft thing working? I don't get onto. We're not just picking games that we love. We're competing against each other. Is that how this is going?
Well, we just want to see what you got. You got to pick games that you love and hope that no one else
Show
steals
me
something
what
that
you
might be on your
got.
list.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So first game I'm going to share is it's a dexterity game. It's a dexterity dungeon diving game. It's called Catacombs. And what this is you actually go through several layers of a dungeon, but everything is created with like wooden discs or different shaped discs, and they represent the heroes and they represent the monsters. And in order to attack or do damage to a monster or the monster to the hero, you actually have to flick it and hit the other object. So it's just a super fun dexterity game because you have monsters all over the place, and you're just getting really close, and then you flick it and it goes in a totally opposite direction that you weren't hoping it was going on to. And but when you kill monsters, you get gold. There's little monsters, big monsters. Eventually you go through the dungeon. There's a point in the game where the heroes can purchase equipment with the gold they've won. And then eventually you get to the end of the dungeon where there's a boss, and they have several different bosses, and the game is different every time. So Catacombs, it's just a fun game that I was able to play, and it was actually a game that I came to know because I had interviewed the designer and developer of it when I was doing my podcast for Sweet Kicks with Bricks. And actually, really cool fun factoid is if you buy the new edition of Catacombs, which is the 3rd edition, and you look on the back of the box, it has the Sweet Kicks Bricks with Bricks logo on it that says Sweet Kicks with Bricks approved.
Oh, that's awesome. That's very so cool.
So that's I thought that was really cool. So so it's just a super fun dexterity dungeon diving game, and I own it, so we can play it sometime for sure. So that's always something fun to bust out with a group of friends, because you just have a fun time and you think you're really good at flicking things, but then you realize no you're not.
Very cool. All right, so Monopoly and Catacombs are now on the board. Nate, what do you got?
Okay, my first one's actually a solitaire board game called Friday. And what it is you're Robinson Crusoe, and you've landed on the desert island, and you're dumb as a post. The point of the game is you need to survive on this island, and then if you're able to survive long enough, pirates come, and you have to try to beat the pirates. I've played probably 300 games of it, and I've made it to the pirates maybe 6 or 7 times, and I've never actually beaten the game.
Oh wow!
But it's so much fun. So like you start out with a hand, and you have cards that are like one's like you're distracted, or you're weak, or you're not paying attention. And so like what you're doing is you flip over 2 cards, and they have like really cool abilities. Like one will give you 1 life point, one will let you draw 2 more cards to try to beat the quest that you're on. A quest might be like you're hunting animals, and you have to get a certain amount of points using your cards to beat that quest. And if you beat the quest, you get to keep that card, and on the back of it, it has a really cool ability. And so what you do is you start, you're trying to balance your life points, because they can run out really fast, but you can sacrifice life points in order to get rid of your bad cards. And so you're trying to balance everything out with the life points and the cards. So I mean, it's really simple to play. I'm probably making it sound like heck of difficult, but
does the game feature a volleyball with a face painted on it in blood?
No, it doesn't, but it should.
I'm out.
It's really fun. It's from Rio Grande Games.
Okay, they make good games.
Yeah, and it's like I say, it's a solitaire game. They actually have versions of it on on tablets and cell phones.
Oh, cool.
And I don't think it's very expensive, so if you're like interested in it, you can always download the app and try it. It's really fun. I really, really enjoy it.
Very cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Friday is on the board. So for mine, I want you to imagine, if you will.
Oh boy.
No.
You are in Siberia.
Oh.
It is 40 degrees below zero.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You are standing outside a train waiting to board for a 24-hour journey. And you're sitting there, you're looking at your good friends that you have with you, and how you're going to be spending the next 24 hours sequestered, 4 of you, in a small compartment. What are you going to do? That's right. You bring out Risk.
Dang it.
Risk.
Dang it. That was on my list.
No, not anymore.
So, Risk. Risk is probably my favorite all-time board game, and it's for a lot of reasons. It does have a little bit of nostalgia for me because of when I was in Russia, and I made some of those trips. And John, you were on, I think, one of those Risk train rides with me, weren't you?
No, we didn't. We both. So.
Oh yeah, we were like Ghost in the Night with Sergut. That's right.
I was gonna say because God likes me better, and I was only there in the summer.
That's right. That's right. I remember
If you're
that.
thinking, look at picture the globe in your head, and you know how in pictures they show like the North Pole and the Arctic Circle and everything. Just below that is a little city with a lot of oil in it and natural gas called Sergut. It's very clean. It's very nice. If you're there in summer. If you happen to show up on the last day that it snowed in May and leave on the first day that it snowed in September, then you had a lovely time in Sergut. Brady, on the other hand, probably didn't see the sun his entire time up there, did you?
I was there for 8 months, and yeah, it was,
8 months?
I was there for 8 months.
I didn't think it was that long. Holy
Wow.
crap.
That was actually no. Pierre-Vaurosk was my longest time, but
Dang.
yeah.
Yeah, Sergut.
But anyway, Sergut. It's a little Siberian city that I love, and it has a very special place in my heart.
24 hours by train away from Ekaterinburg, which you have to go to, and so you'd fill your time on the train with Risk.
With Risk, and so it does have a little bit of that nostalgia for me, but it also it's a game that I go back to a lot, whether it's with friends, with family, or by myself. Just I've downloaded every version of that game that I can find on any device that I have, because it's just so much fun to play, and just the strategy involved, and
See, I like
trying to start with Australia, man. You got to start with Australia.
I like
North
Risk,
America.
but I always liked Axis and Allies better.
I did too. I like how there's
I haven't played Axis and Allies since I was like 12, and I don't think that I finished the game. There's a joke in my family that my sister-in-law, she made an agreement with my brother-in-law, like, it's my wife's sister and her husband, that they would play Axis and Allies together, but only once a year, because he loves it and she hates it because it just takes forever.
Nice.
But,
Okay.
But anyway, so
Risk
Risk
is a good game though.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
great.
That
I
is a good
love
game.
it. All right, John.
ooh, I need to consult my list since Risk is taken off of there. I'm gonna try to keep it to not card games, but I want to give a mention to
Wait,
the best card game.
Card games are tabletop games. They count.
Oh, well then I'll tell you guys about the best card game ever, Euchre. Have you guys played Euchre?
Euchre is fun. There's this
Yeah.
old African American woman when I was on my mission in Detroit.
I was gonna say, if you were in
And,
Detroit, yeah, you would have had exposure to it probably.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, it was interesting. Like this lady, she was really sick, and so she couldn't come over. She couldn't go to church, and so we would go over and bring church to her. Basically, we would do the sacrament, and then we would invite people from the ward over and have a Sunday school class.
Nice.
But we always finished the meetings with a game of euchre and a big slice of watermelon.
That sounds like
So-
the best Sunday ever.
Right?
That's fantastic.
So tell me about Euchre.
So anyway,
Euchre is a card game that's popular in the Midwest, and it was tricky. I grew up in Indiana, and that's you play Euchre, and it was like a rite of passage in our family when you were a little kid, because you couldn't play as a little kid. You got to focus on the game. You can't be screwing around. And so when you were old enough to get in on the game, it was a lot of fun. You play just with the cards 9 through ace, going up with all the face cards. And it's like spades or hearts where you have to follow suit. And the point is, you and your partner have to get 10 points. You get points by earning tricks. So that's everyone throws a card in, the high card wins. And depending on what the trump is, your cards may be, your ace may be great, your ace may be, easily trumped and worthless. So it's a lot of fun. There's, we always play best out of 3, so we'll play 3 games to 10. You can play with 3 players. You take out the 9s, and then you start with 15 points. And every trick you win, you go down a point. And the goal is to get to 0, and that's an interesting wrinkle to the normal things. There's a lot of just slang that goes along with it. If you go to the Wikipedia page, that's how my wife and my brother-in-law learned, because they're both from Park City, Utah, and had no exposure to Euchre, so they're like, what on earth are you guys talking about? What are you guys doing? Because there's a whole, just slang to it and that kind of thing. Just
it's its own culture.
Yeah, and there's a really funny section of the Wikipedia that is scoring traditions, because depending on who you play with, sometimes. So when you're trying to get to 9, or you're trying to get to 10 points, when you get to 9 points, you're in the barn. That's what it's called. This is a Midwest game, remember. And so sometimes people will put the cards, you keep score with 6s and 4s, or if you're from Michigan and crazy, it's 5s, I guess.
Yep.
To keep track of 10 points. And if the one team can take those cards that they're keeping track of, since you have 9, you put the cards behind your ears, and pretend they're like cow horns, I guess, and then you interlock your fingers and hold your thumbs down, and those are udders, and your partner will milk them. This is an extreme variation that's frowned upon by most members of my family, but if you really want to rub it in someone's face that you have 9 points and they don't, then you can do, the whole thing.
Yeah.
This is something that works better seeing it played, but it's my favorite card game. It's the best card game. And a lot of fun, and just a big part of my life growing up. So there you go.
Oh,
and
awesome.
besides Nate, have any of you guys played it before?
Nope. No, I have not.
Best way is to just get an app on your phone, learn how to play that way, and because otherwise it's like, if you play like where a whole family plays, like my poor wife, we're all trying to explain it to her, and she's like, "Everyone, shut up! What's going on?"
That's why you always have a dedicated rules teller.
Yeah, we have in our family the gaming commissioner. So yeah. But that's my pick.
All right, cool.
And Euchre, it's spelled E-U-C-H-R-E, Brady, because
Yeah, I had to look that up.
Okay.
One of my favorite games right now, and I always bust this out when someone comes over and we want to play, a quick little board game. It's really easy to learn, but it's super fun. It's called Dragoon. Dragoon. So it's an action strategy game with an ever-changing landscape. I'm reading the description off of Board Game Geek. So village and city tiles populate each round using a coordinate system. During your turn, choose between claiming villages and cities by paying tribute or destroying them outright for gold. So basically, you're a dragon. And what you're doing is each round, randomly, you roll 2 dice, and on a grid system, you place a city or, you place a village, and then that village has the potential of turning into a city. On your turn, you have dedicated amount of points that you can use on your turn. Like moving would be 1 point, stuff like that. So you can move around this map, and you can claim cities, because at the end of the round, there's a tribute. And you would roll the die, and if you roll high enough, that you would get gold from that. Or you can just destroy the city and get gold immediately. And it's the first person to 50 gold wins. So there's your 4 dragons going around this landscape, destroying or claiming villages. You can also fight each other, and you have your caves on the map, and you can go to another dragon's cave and steal their gold, and things like that. So it's just a super easy, simple game. But I mean, you can use a lot of strategy in it, and I also found this game too because it was another another Kickstarter that I interviewed. But it was super fun, and the really cool thing about it is the board game is made completely of cloth. So you kind of like fold it up, and then you just throw it out on the table, and it's cloth. And
that's cool.
It's really cool. And then I happened to get the special edition, so the dragons are actually metal, and so you have like bronze, silver, gold, and then copper. Or no, those onyx, like a black one. But so it's just really cool moving these metal pieces on the cloth board and everything like that. But it's super fun. It's just 2 to 4 players, but there is an expansion for it now, where you can go up to 6 players now. They introduced human characters. You have like the thief and the rogue and the barbarian, and so you can play up to 6 people now. But it's a super fun game, and you just go around destroying or claiming villages. Yep.
Cool. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's lots of fun. So yeah, Dragoon.
That's cool.
Cool. So I guess it's my turn. My next game's called Bottom of the Ninth.
Oh, yeah, by Dice Hate Me Games.
Yes. Have you played it?
So I interviewed the guys for their game when they was on Kickstarter. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's
my dad played pro baseball for a little bit.
Oh, cool.
For the Texas Rangers, and so like our family's really big into baseball, and bottom of the ninth school because it's the bottom of the ninth inning and you're tied.
Right.
But you're playing the best team in the world, and so like if you get there's the pitcher, there's the pitching team and the batting team, and of course just like baseball, the pitcher's trying to get 3 outs, and the batter team just has to score 1 run. But it's kind of tricky. And so anyways, you roll dice. Basically to show like the strength of your pitch or your hit, and then if the batter makes contact with the ball, you both have to roll a die really, really fast, and like if the pitcher gets a 5 or a 6 first, then it's an out, but if the batter gets a 5 or a 6 first, then they're safe.
Right.
And so anyway, it's really fun. The expansions are a ton of fun. They actually like all the cards for like your players look like real baseball cards.
Yeah, I love how they did that. It was cool.
Yeah, and like their expansion packs, they just come like regular trading cards, and they even like include that really cheap, crappy bubble gum, like stick of gum that they used to put.
That's awesome.
And
makes it more
in
authentic.
baseball cards. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean the baseball theme in it is just really, really strong, and it's really fun. My dad, nobody in my family really likes to play board games too much, which is kind of sucky for me. But anyway, that's one that my dad and I can play, and we have a lot of fun with that one. And that one also has apps on your phones and tablets, and it's on Steam too.
Very cool.
So yeah, Bottom of the Ninth.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead, and since no one has taken this one, I am going to grab it, and maybe I will hear John cry, because that's my aim with all my choices.
Well, you gotta admire someone with a plan.
And I'm going to take that, that Russian train trip, except for I'm going to move that train to the U.S., and I'm going to say that we're going to build out some train lines, because we're talking about Ticket to Ride.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know why I didn't think of that one. I play it on my iPad all the time, and I love that game, but like I didn't jump to it. I was thinking of other stuff. I love that game.
It's a good one.
I have a bunch of the expansions for it too.
Yeah, they have cool, like the European ones with like tunnels and stuff are cool.
Yeah.
And the card game is actually really good as well.
Yeah, the card game's excellent.
Brady, do you ever, like, when I play, at least I'm just playing on my iPad against the computer, I try to make the longest route every single time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if that was, like, me being weird or if that was, like, an accepted strategy.
you get like 10 points extra if you have the longest train.
Yeah, no, that's been often, like, the difference between winning and losing, so...
Mm-hmm.
But,
my strategy is I want to get something with East Coast, West Coast, a route with that, and then once I have that connected, I can just expand on that and, easily pick up other cards where I can just do one little route there, one little route there, and done. And so, I mean, that's how I play.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Awesome.
All right, and that is Ticket to Ride. So round 3, John.
We should end after round 3.
I agree.
All right.
I will give an honorable mention to, well, maybe I save that until maybe you guys pick these, but I'm going to say Loaded Questions.
Okay.
It's more of a party game, I guess. One person is it, they read a question, everyone answers, and then whoever's it has to guess who said what, and it's hilarious every time. Really, really like that game. It's a go-to favorite. Though I haven't played it since Jackbox started making games, to be honest, because you get kind of, Quiplash kind of gives you the same sort of experience, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a fun game. Quiplash is cool.
As a side note, have any of you guys seen some of the games from the Jackbox Party Pack 5?
Just briefly, and it's been a couple of weeks, but I'm excited.
So they have one of the games that they have in it. It's like a Yo Mama type rap battle game.
Okay.
Except for your robots, and so like. Whatever you type in, the robots say as part of their rapping, and it's
your mama was a snowblower.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
and short circuit.
Yeah, and the way that it works is it'll give you the first part of the first line, and then you fill it in, and then you have to do a rhyme for it in the second, and so it looks like a lot of fun, and we will definitely have to get together and play that because that's what we do with Jackbox games.
Yeah, that's fun.
All right. Okay, so Loaded Questions now on the board. All right, and so Barry, what is your next pick?
Okay. My wife and I love playing this game. It's called Sheriff of Nottingham. What Sheriff of Nottingham is essentially you are playing a merchant and you are trying to bring your goods into Nottingham. Now, each turn, someone will play the sheriff, and you have to give your bag of goods to the sheriff and claim what you are bringing in. Now, there are certain legal goods that you can bring in with like bread, cheese, apples, chicken. So these are legal things you can bring in. But there is also contraband that you can try to sneak in. So every round you could draw cards, try to get the goods you want, and you could put any number of goods in your bag. So say I put in 5 bread into my bag, and you can only have 6 cards, so 5 bread would be crazy. And then when you put it in the bag, you then hand it to the sheriff and said, I have 5 bread in this bag. And then he takes it. And then everyone claims what they have. And then the sheriff then takes your bag and he decides whether he's going to open your bag or give it back to you saying, I believe you're telling the truth of what is in here. And then comes some negotiating and bluffing, because the sheriff could be like, oh, well, I think I'm going to open this bag. What would you give me to not open this bag? And you have like gold you can bargain with, or you can bargain with promises or things like that. And if you open the bag and you find illegal contraband in there, then the person has to pay the sheriff that gold. Now, if the sheriff opens your bag and you were telling the truth, then the sheriff actually has to pay you. And so it's just a totally bluffing game of, trying to sneak in illegal goods into Nottingham. And it's just so much fun. That
sounds awesome.
You can play up to 5 players. They have an expansion now. You can go up to 6. But it's just super fun. And the game ends when each person has played the sheriff twice. And then so you're just going around lying to each other, seeing who's being sneaky, because at the end of each round, you take the goods out of your bag, and all the legal goods you put, in front of you, you have your merchant, and you have slots for your goods. So you'll put your legal goods face up so that you know that they were legal, and then there's a section for contraband, and you stick your contraband face down. So if you lied to the sheriff, but he said he believed you, and then all of a sudden you open up your bag and stick something in the contraband section, everyone's like, he's a liar, don't trust him next time, type of thing. And it's fun because you don't even necessarily need to sneak in illegal goods. You can just sneak in more of legal goods. So you only can claim one item. So if you're claiming bread, you can sneak in some chickens in there. And and the reason why you would do that is you can't lie the amount you have. So you can only, if you have 5 cards in there, you can only have 5. You can't stick in all your cards and say 5 cards when you put 6 in there. That's one rule you can't do. But you can sneak in other stuff because you get extra points for if you have the most apples at the end of the game. You're king of the apples, so you get extra points to win and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just a game of bluffing and lying and seeing if you can outwit each other. It's lots of fun.
That one sounds awesome.
It sounds really cool.
I always love playing BS, but this is like BS with a theme.
Yeah, so it's super fun, and whenever we have and this is actually my wife's number one favorite game right now. If we want to play a game with a group of people, it's we're playing Sheriff of Nottingham, and so it's we need to buy the expansion now though, so we can play up to 6 people, because you can only play 5 right now. But it's super fun.
That sounds cool.
Very cool.
I want to do an honorable mention. Can I do that?
We'll have a round for honorable mentions,
Oh,
because
okay.
I have I have at least 10.
It'll be a quick spitfire honorable mention. We'll just mention names and not necessarily go into it.
Name and 1 sentence.
There you go.
But that'll be after this 3rd round. Okay, so Nate, what is your 3rd pick?
Okay, my 3rd pick is Ghost Stories. I really love co-op games or games to play with people because you're not going head-to-head against people. You're having to work together. And so Ghost Stories is really, really cool. You're samurai, and you're trying to protect the village from all of these ghosts that are coming to haunt the town.
Yeah.
And it's probably the hardest board game I've ever played. Honestly,
I lost.
Have you played it?
Yeah, it's hard.
The artwork is incredible. I kind of keep it. I keep it in a different room because my son will have nightmares about the ghosts from the game.
Nice.
Because the artwork is pretty creepy, but man, it's a fun game. You're monks, and then you're trying to protect this village, and they'll have the tea house, and they'll have Asian samurai type villages, and you just go around and you're trying to keep them safe on top of fighting these ghosts, and they just come wave after wave after wave. And it's so much fun to play with everybody, but it's one of those, it's okay, well, we're probably going to lose this, but let's see how far we can get. I kind of like those type of games. Like I said with Friday, that one I've never won before, but
very cool.
It is it is a fun game.
So a little bit of challenge in your board games is something that you value.
Yeah, because it kind of keeps you wanting more. you're like, oh, we got to go again because I think I have the strategy now to do this. And then, of course, your strategy sucks because it's completely random with like the cards you draw or whatever. But but it's Ghost Stories is a great theme. The artwork's great, and it's a lot of fun.
Cool.
That's my third pick.
All right, so I'm actually going to go ahead. For my last official pick, I'm going to choose something that is another cooperative game, and it's another cooperative game that can actually be very difficult, but it's one that I have had a lot of fun playing.
Forbidden Desert.
Multiple times.
Oh, I love Forbidden Desert.
It's not Forbidden Desert.
Forbidden Island.
Forbidden Island.
It's not Forbidden Island either.
Forbidden... There's the new one in the sky. What's it called? Forbidden Sky Place.
Oh, they have a new one?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
So I'm actually going to go for Shadows over Camelot.
Oh, that was one of my honorable mentions.
So Shadows over Camelot, it's obviously Camelot themed, so it's Arthur. Everyone has their own Knight of the Round Table that they choose, and basically you have, I think it's like 5 different possible missions or places that you can go, and you have to really work together to make sure that you are able to protect Camelot, complete these quests, get these items, but then you can have a wrinkle in it where you can have a traitor that completely just changes everything because it's someone who's secretly working against everyone else, and that just takes everything to the next level. It's a cooperative game that I love because it does have those separate things. So it feels like everybody is accomplishing something separately, but you're all working together towards a goal. And that's why it beat out a lot of the other cooperative games that I have on my honorable mentions list. And I just have to give it a call out. I love Shadows of Camelot.
That's awesome. That was a great game.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to do a quick fire of games.
Okay.
All right, and this time we're going to go in reverse order.
All right.
Okay.
Go, Brady, go.
Okay. So, Muchkin.
Yep, that's a good one.
That's on my list.
Muchkin's fun.
And the many variations of it.
Yes, and the variations add a lot to it. I'm considering it a board game because I have the Munchkin Deluxe, which actually does have a board that just lets you easily track your levels.
Yes.
Clue.
Clue, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
The movie helps it.
Instead of Clue, I always play. Have you guys played Mystery of the Abbey?
No.
It's by Days of Wonder, who did Ticket to Ride and Shadows over Camelot. But you're in a Catholic cathedral, and there's 24 monks, and one of them has committed a murder, and you're trying. So like in Clue, like you just have like 6 people or whatever. Like Mystery of the Abbey has 26 different people.
Wow.
Gotcha.
And you go through, and then but the rounds, you have to meet back for sacrament, and you go into the chapel, and then you draw a card, and they have different themes. One round you can only speak in chants, so you're like, I'm rolling the dice, or one's vow of silence, so you have to play the whole round without making a sound.
That's cool.
Anyway, yeah, but Clue's a great game.
So the thing that I love about Clue is it reminds me of the only thing that I liked about math in 5th grade, which were those logic puzzles where you'd have the grid that you'd mark out as you go through it. And that's basically what Clue is. It's process of elimination, and it makes you feel really smart when you're able to get it, but you have to take risks, and I love it. Dungeons and Dragons.
Of course. Have to say Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Which is something that a year and a half ago I didn't think that I would add to this list, but hey, now I'm doing a podcast with 2 of you where we are going through a D&D campaign, so I've got to include it.
Yep.
Legendary.
Yeah, I have
that's a
I have
good
a
one.
ton of Marvel Legendary sets.
Yeah, which it's a deck building game, and deck building games can always be fun, and this is a cooperative deck building game, which makes it even more fun.
Yep.
Dagnabbit, I'm going to count this. The Mario Party games, including Mario Party 3.
Those don't count. Those are not board games. Those are not tabletop games.
Nope, it's a video game that has some similar elements, but that's it.
I do not count it.
It has a board, and I'm going to count it.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Red Dragon Inn.
Okay.
Which is a wonderful game that's basically about you're in a tavern.
You're hanging out in a
trying
tavern.
not to get too beat up or too drunk.
Yep.
Great. Trivial Pursuit. It's a classic, and I know way too much useless things, and so that made me feel like
I love trivia. Love
trivia. Pandemic.
Oh, I have. That was on my 5. Like, if we did 5 games, Pandemic was on mine too.
Yep, that's a good one.
That's a cooperative game where you're trying to save the world from a pandemic. Superfight.
I love Superfight.
I actually have it right next to me here.
Yeah.
Which is a game that we actually did an episode where we played Superfight for the episode, and it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then the last one is Settlers of Catan.
Okay.
Of course, yeah.
That was Emily's mention. She said she couldn't be here with us.
Way to go, Emily.
Wood for sheep. Joke. Okay.
All right. Go, Nate.
Okay, so there's one that I love called Longshot, and it's a horse racing game. You have 10 horses. You have the 10-sided die, and then you have a die that has 2 1s, 2 2s, a 3, and a blank side. And you roll them, and then whatever, like when it's your turn, you roll them, and then that horse, whatever the 10-sided die lands on, you move that horse, and then you move them either 1, 2, 3, or 0 spaces on the racetrack. And you have cards that will give you like your uncle gives you $25 for your birthday, and you play it, and then you're able to use that to bet on the horse, or you can buy horses, and if you own the horse and it places in the race, you get a lot of money.
Okay, one sentence.
One sentence. Okay.
Yeah. Keep it short, Nate.
Okay,
Jeez.
sorry. Okay, Segrada, you're making
Good one.
Yeah, you're making a stained glass window, and you can't use the same colors or numbers right next to each other in your pattern.
It's a good one. It's fun.
Yeah, it's cool. And then we said Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert. Those games are great. And I had one more. Oh, I have one called Lifeboats, and if it's one where you'll fight with your family, probably. Like, you're all in these lifeboats, and once around, you have to vote somebody off of your boat, of the lifeboat, and if you make it to the island and you have the most pawns, you win. So, anyway,
cool.
but you fight because you're betting people to die.
Right.
Barry.
Okay. King of Tokyo. King of Tokyo is Yahtzee meets Godzilla. Fun game. All right. Next is Cover Your Assets, which is a card game where essentially you are building assets. So whether that's you have a car or a house, and then you can try to steal the assets from the other players. Lots of fun. It's actually one of my family's favorite games to play right now. King Don Domino. You are trying to build your own kingdom, and it's usually like a 5x5 grid, and you have these pieces that look like dominoes because one side represents one piece of land and another one represents. So you could have water and forest, or desert and mines, or something like that. And you do it in a draft system, and everyone picks a piece and then tries to build their kingdom. Lots of fun. We really enjoy playing that one as well. Next is a dexterity game called Push It. This is you could basically treat this as like it's a bar game, where you have a single wooden disc put in the center of the table, and then you have 4 players, and you have to sit at equal distance away from the middle disc. You have 2 wooden discs of your own, and you flick them, and whoever gets closest to the disc wins. It's super simple, but like just ridiculous fun, and lots of laughter ensues. So
Awesome.
Push it. Next and last is Schrodinger's cats. This really goes off of the the theory of the whole is the cat alive or dead in the box or not in the box. And you are all playing cat physicists. So they each have a card that is an actual real physicist, but in cat form. So you have Steve Pockings instead of Hawkings and stuff like that. But it's just silly.
Delightful.
So it's what it is it's a bidding game. So say the 4 of us were playing, so that means each of us would have 4 cards, and there would be 16 boxes in this experiment. And then I would start, and I would look, and I'd say, okay, I think there are, out of 16 boxes, I think there are 8 dead cats. And then it would go over to Brady, and Brady would have to either go higher for dead or alive cats, or empty boxes, and then you'd go until someone thinks there's not that, and you say prove it, and then everyone reveals their cards, and then if you're right, then then that person that made you force your hand is out, or if you're wrong, you're out, and then you go down till it's a single man standing. Lots of fun.
Very cool.
Schrodinger's cats.
Awesome, that sounds like fun.
Done.
So, a couple more on my list, and they're like my children's. I love them all. Besides Euchre, I like poker, Hollywood Rummy, and gin, just for card games. But my favorite card game, I never get a chance to. Well, favorite tabletop card game, Dominion. You guys played that?
Ooh, yeah, I love
The
that.
original deck building game.
Yeah, I love it. And then there was a great app, and then I got a better phone, and the app didn't. It was on the Google Play Store, not the App Store, and it's gone forever. But Dominion, Munchkins, of course, was on my list. Exploding Kittens.
Yeah.
I love Exploding Kittens.
I backed Exploding Kittens, Bears vs. Babies, and You've Got Crabs, and have all of those, and they're a lot of fun.
What about Unstable Unicorns?
My wife got that for me for my birthday.
There you go.
I think that's the one she got. I'd have to look at it. I did not grab it to peruse it while we were sitting here. Loaded questions. I already said. Would you rather? I did not say.
Yeah.
Oh, Would You Rather?
Would you rather is
great.
always fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a real fun one, if you have the right crowd, Secret Hitler. It stopped being fun in November of 2016 because it was just too real. But,
Nice.
but up until then, it was a fun game. And maybe it'll be fun again, provided the right kind of hearings are being held.
Right.
Our nation's capital. But it's a really fun game, and it's fun because you can. Will Wheaton does the intro and the explanation of like how to play the game. You just go to the site, and so like he narrates the first part of it, but then you play, and it's mostly you get to learn which of your friends are sociopaths, and it's a lot of fun.
Exactly.
Very cool.
I'll add one last nod, and I'm sure you guys have played this one, but Splendor.
Oh, Splendor's great.
I don't think I've played Splendor.
It's a good one.
It's fun.
So anyway,
And
all
there's
right.
apps of it.
There's a game there. I have it on. It's
what type of game is it?
You're collecting jewels, or it deals with jewels.
It's a resource management game. So you're collecting jewels to purchase to purchase cards to get points, and then or people that are worth points. So it's about gathering the jewels. You can get up to 3 jewels each turn, or 2 of the same color, and then you use those jewels to purchase cards, and then the first person to an allotted points wins.
That sounds like a much more fun version of like doing a budget for the week. So
There you go.
I'm gonna play that game.
It's lots of fun. So yeah, that's it.
Cool. All right.
Awesome.
Any other last calls?
Yeah, I have something about the Overwatch League that I want to say really fast.
Okay.
So they just announced there are 8 new teams joining the league for 2019.
Wow.
So that will take the teams from 12 teams to 20 teams.
Wow.
Those teams are 3 more teams in China. So that'll be 4 teams in China total. The new cities are Guangzhou, Chengdu, and Hangzhou. And then Atlanta,
I'm
Georgia.
pretty sure that you just made 2 of those up.
I know.
And walnut shrimp.
Right. Atlanta, Georgia has their own team now. Washington, D.C. has their own team now. Paris, France, and Toronto and Vancouver, Canada.
Sweet.
Very cool.
So,
I have one more. Guillotine. You ever play Guillotine?
Guillotine's
card game?
great.
Okay, yeah, I'm done.
okay.
All right. I have collected all of these, by the way, and I will have them in the show notes.
Brady, I have mine written down with links to them to Board Game Geek if you want them.
Beautiful.
Oh, excellent.
Awesome.
All right. And that will do it for us for this month of Reviews versus the World. Hopefully with this new recording structure, we're going to be able to get these out a little bit more often to you and actually have our monthly episodes. We have some fun stuff planned for you. In the meantime, check out 1D10 the show. I think that you'll like it.
Yes.
And the Superhuman Registration Podcast.
Yes, which has John and Steven and Aldo.
We do our best. It's my book club.
Sweet.
All right, and until next month, have a great time.
All right.